From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for September 29th, 2016. I'm Samantha Charles.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University will soon be home to a display of over 200 terracotta warriors. And Troy's brand new International Arts Center will help educate visitors about the history of the original statues, thanks in part to the work of 4 graphic design students.
I see your warrior is almost ready.
I can't seem to fit the pieces together, Grandfather.
The building that was once Stewart Dining Hall is now under renovation and will soon be known as the International Arts Center. Videos, illustrations, and 3-dimensional designs featured in the building are in the hands of 4 Troy University graphic design students. One student designer says he hopes a student-led design team will serve as a foundation for how 3D print and design will be taught in the future.
We'll have maybe like as a basis for how we're going to maybe teach 3D design as well as like 3D printing, because Noriega really wanted to do that and I really wanted that too. I'm sure more people in the art graphic design industry are going to want to do that.
Once completed, the International Arts Center will serve not only as a permanent piece of student art, but also as a place of learning for its designers.
Having a new space that's going to be totally for graphic design, like this whole creative area, is going to be a lot of fun. And just being able to be like, you know, on a break, go downstairs and watch my animation in this exhibit, it's going to be so surreal.
We'll be sitting in there with people that didn't help, and I feel like they'll be looking at us like, you did this. It'll feel really good.
And when asked about the final product, one designer says he is looking forward to working with the entire design team.
I think I'm really stoked just to see how we all come together and just the overall product of it. I'm kind of really excited about it.
The International Arts Center and the Janice Hawkins Cultural Arts Park is set to have its grand opening on Friday, November 4th.
Some Troy University faculty members spent their lunch break learning about some of the new developments coming to the city of Troy from a man who knows a thing or two about the happenings in the city. Madison Neal has the details.
Teachers in Troy's online education program have the chance each month to expand their knowledge during their lunch break.
Troy University's Troy Online established the Center for Excellence in E-Teaching several years ago, and the purpose of that center is to help faculty members learn how to teach online and to teach adults. As part of that program, we hold monthly Lunch and Learn series where we bring in outside speakers.
And this month's speaker was Troy Mayor Jason Reeves. Reeves strayed a little away from educational topics and focused on development in the city.
He talked a little bit about Troy University and the relationship between the city and the university, but he also talked about some of the plans for growth and the things that they have coming our way. So it was a very interesting presentation. We were very happy to have him here today.
Reeves could tell that the audience was excited to hear about many of the new developments coming to Troy.
I know they've been looking forward to Publix opening. Publix will open between January the 11th and January the 28th. So we're excited about that, as well as the roads opening and several other different shops and things of that nature. We've got some large retail developments that are looking at Troy that will, I think, will excite the students, as well as several different restaurants and places to go.
In addition to the already announced projects, Reeves mentioned some upcoming surprises that we should all be excited about.
Some of them I can't be specific on, but I think as the year unfolds, the students will be very excited about the new opportunities that they'll have to shop and to dine.
Madison Neal, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Lunch and Learn is held once a month in the Civic Room in the dining hall and is open to all faculty members. And all this week, Troy University's library has been bringing attention to banned books throughout history.
This afternoon, members of the university community shared their favorite banned books in an event to wrap up the week-long celebration. Jalen Bivens has the details.
Faculty and students gathered in the library Wednesday afternoon for Banned Book Week. Each of them took turns reading passages from their favorite books and also went on to describe what made the book get on the banned book list.
Faculty, staff, and one student will actually come in and talk about their favorite banned book, why it's important, and read a little portion of it for us.
Even though the books are banned, just having the freedom and the opportunity is what allowed them to meet today.
To celebrate the freedom to read. A lot of countries around the world have censorship that we luckily don't have here in America, so it's just to spread our passion for reading.
The word banned has many dictionary definitions, but when it comes to books, it could take on a whole new meaning.
A book faces challenges when usually people who have not read the book, consider the book a danger to youth or to the community. There is no danger in reading. The danger is in not reading.
A book can be deemed banned for the following reasons: drugs, sexual content, racial issues, and violence. For example, the autobiography of Malcolm X and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Not all students in attendance were there to read books. Some were there for a more personal reason.
My teacher will be reading today from the book Harry Potter, which I love. It's an awesome series, and I came to support her.
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Banned Books Week was presented through a grant from the Judith Krug Fund and the Freedom to Read Foundation.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Welcome into the world of Trojan sports. I'm Jamal Kennedy. Now, how could I not start this evening with the 3-1 Trojans, the school's best mark to open a season in its Division I history? But you heard that from Ryan Renfro last night. Tonight is looking ahead to this weekend's matchup from the eyes of the head coach. What's Coach Brown looking for in this weekend's matchup? Well, here it is.
Last year, it was a missed field goal that doomed the Trojans on homecoming against Idaho, who escaped the vet with a 19-16 victory. But it's a new year now, and it's a lot of firsts for the Trojans coming up.
First conference road game, like usual, our goal is to go out and get a win, but it's going to be a first flight for a lot of our young guys on our football team, a lot of our newcomers that are just playing, true freshmen or junior college transfers. For most of these guys, a lot of first time they've ever been on a plane in their lives. So it's there's a lot that goes into that, not just the football game.
But remember that there is a football game to be played, and the Vendals are one of the up-and-coming teams in the conference.
A lot of respect for Paul Petrino and his staff. They came in here and beat us on homecoming last year. So, and most of that football team's back. And I think for them it starts offensively. Linehan, the quarterback, can make all the throws. He really hurt us last year with his feet. He can make plays when the pocket breaks down, and that's continued. The running back Duckworth is a physical runner. They do a good job mixing up their run schemes. They have 2 tight ends that they use in the passing game a lot. I think 2 of their top 4 leading receivers are tight ends, so that's going to be a different element that we haven't faced this year. It's going to be 2 weeks in a row that we're going to be challenged in the passing game.
And when the Trojans have the ball, the defensive challenges are clear.
Defensively, they're really a pain to prepare for because they mix up their fronts and their coverages so much. 3 down, 4 down. They've got the defensive player of the week this week in the conference, and Caden Ellis. He made a huge play on a pick 6 against UNLV, really changed the momentum of that game. And they did a good job. They got after us last year defensively. I thought they created a lot of chaos. We did not play very well.
Moscow, Idaho, at most a 2,600-mile drive from Troy, but the Trojans flew in today, and if they can get the jet lag out of the way in time for Saturday's 4 p.m. matchup, it could be a big day. It never feels good to lose at home, but what's even worse is when you lose to an opponent you won't even get to play again. That's the situation the volleyball team is facing after a tough weekend last week, but head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick knows he has to look ahead.
The thing that makes last weekend more bitter to swallow, 1, it's at home. 2, we only played the West teams once, so we will not get a chance to play Texas State or UT Arlington again this season. And if it comes down to seeding at the conference tournament, they have the head-to-head matchup. So it's vital that we go in and really try to get the wins against the West.
What we didn't hear from Coach Sonny is that the volleyball team will get 2 opportunities to play the Eastern Conference teams. But they will want to get off on the right foot this weekend, and tomorrow night, Coach will preview the weekend ahead for his team. After getting out on their own trail for the first time in competition, the cross-country team now knows what to expect. But with conference championships being raced in their own backyard this year, Elliott Blount's squad has to become familiar as soon as possible.
we've been down there, for workouts, but it's always different when it comes to racing because it's a continuous thing, obviously. And I think, they got a good idea of how challenging the course is. It's deceivingly tough. And I think when you can break it up a little bit in workouts, you can't really get the full, you can't really tell 100%. But when you get out there for the full race, you can definitely see that, we know where we have to work.
The cross-country team will race a familiar trail this weekend. Tune in tomorrow night at 5 p.m. for a preview of the JSU Foothills Invitational from Coach Blount.